Hello students, after completion of Keynes' criticism on classical theories of employment, next topic is Keynesian theory of employment. Keynesian theory of employment. To explain his own thoughts, Keynes create his own theory of employment. J.M. Keynes, in his General Theory of Employment, Interest and Money, propounded modern theory of employment in 1936. So, with this theory, he tried to find out the equilibrium of employment and how trying to explain how the level of employment determined in economy. According to Keynesian theory of employment, in capitalist economy, in short run, total output, or we can say total income, depends on the level of employment. Depends on the level of employment. It means national income or output is function. F here, F means function of level of employment. In the short period, other factors of production like capital, technique, etc. remain constant. So, level of employment depends on effective demand. So, effective demand means what? Effective demand means what? ED means effective demand. Here we have given. Effective demand refers to that level of aggregate demand at which it is equal to aggregate supply. Simply, effective demand means the situation where aggregate demand is equal to aggregate supply. In this sentence we have explained this. Effective demand express equality between aggregate demand and aggregate supply. So, level of employment is dependent on effective demand. If effective demand increases, then level of employment also increases. If effective demand decreases, the level of employment also decreases. So, effective demand refer to the equilibrium between aggregate demand and aggregate supply. It means that only that level of aggregate demand which is equal to aggregate supply in the country is called effective demand. Suppose by employing 1 lakh labor in a country at any given time of period, the aggregate supply is worth rupees 100 crore and the aggregate demand at that very time is also 100 crore, then that situation aggregate demand price will be equal to aggregate supply price. It means effective demand. So, according to Keynesian theory of employment, in that situation, aggregate demand price of rupees 100 crore will be called effective demand. So, this way we can explain the principle of Keynesian theory of employment. So, this theory is based on certain assumption, and that assumptions we have to learn that assumptions such as short time of period, then labor is okay. So Keynesian theory of employment and its assumption. The first assumption is short period. So Keynesian theory of employment refer the short period of time. Keynes believed that the problem of unemployment in developed countries was a short-run problem because in long run we are all dead, so we have to focus on short-run problems. In the short period, aggregate supply remain constant as such level of employment can be increased and unemployment removed by increasing aggregate demand. So this way he taken short term, short period as an assumption. Then second assumption of his theory is perfect competition. Perfect competition. Keynesian theory of employment, like classical theory, is based on assumption of perfect competition. The same assumption we have seen in classical theories as well. Then third assumption given by Keynes is closed economy. Closed economy. Keynesian theory is based on the assumption that a developed capitalist economy is a closed economy. It means that capitalist economies are not making any kind of trade, any kind of export import with other countries. So it means there is closed economy. Then next, fourth assumption of Keynesian theory of employment is diminishing marginal productivity. Diminishing marginal productivity. Diminishing marginal productivity means what? As we more and more units of labor employed, then their marginal productivity goes on diminishing. It means that production is subject to law of diminishing marginal returns. So as we increase number of labors, then the productivity start to decline. So this principle shown by diminishing marginal productivity, and it exists in this theory as well. Then fifth assumption is labor is the only factor of production. Labor is the only factor of production. This theory assumes short time of period, and in short time of period there is not possible to make change in permanent factors of production, and we can't make change in all factors of production in short time of period. But in short time of period we can change in labors. So he assumed labor is the only factor of production. So on the basis of all these assumptions, Keynes explained how employment level is determined in economy. And he already in his introduction of theory he given the level of employment is depend on effective demand, and where the effective demand situation we found, there we found the equilibrium as well. So now we will see how he find the equilibrium of employment of aggregate demand and aggregate supply.